Thursday. USI back in action on Wednesday right here at the Athletic Complex. First look at Bruninga. He is down low for ball one.
Burke, as mentioned, the catcher, comes in hitting .353. He's 12 for 34 and has one of the 2 home runs for this ball club on the season, also 7 RBIs.
2 down low, count 2-0 here to Bruninga. In Bartoni's on deck, Tremy, Lamp, Hinge, and Olsmalski. Round out the Hawks starting 9. Comeback pitch, count 2-1 now to Bruninga.
And Darren, you talked earlier, I think we remember from our high school coverage when Todd was at Mater Dei. It takes him an inning or 2 really to get going as far as getting the velocity on his ball, getting some movement out there, and also toning in a little bit on his location.
Count 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Bruninga. And that can be said for actually many, but those who survive are usually successful. You don't let pressure get to them.
If you can get by the first 2 or 3 innings with so-so control and your good stuff, and there you see a good pitch right there, breaking pitch down and away. First strikeout of the day for Todd.
That is strikeout number 14 on the season for Niemeyer, leading the team. But you say leading the team so early in the season, I guess you hope to come out of the spring trip maybe not so much successful, Doug, but as a learning experience. Don't forget, you look at 4 and 5, but you're playing against teams who have played maybe 20 games down south.
And I think that Gary is going to use that to his advantage to really get people back into baseball and try to get as many arms involved as you can.
Here's Bartoni, the right fielder, with 1 away on the inside, and Niemeyer with a check down at first base. Count 1 ball and 1 strike here to Tony's.
Bart, the right fielder, .333 on the season for Quincy College, 12 for 36. Scored 10 runs, leads the team in that category.
Slow roller here, bounces right in front of Kevin Brown. To first, score it 2-3. There are 2 away.
Good pitch right there, and also the quickness of Brown coming out behind the plate. It's tough like that sometimes, especially with the runner going down to first base. A ball that close to the line, he's going to have a lot of time, so he's going to make sure he gets the ball, move out 2 or 3 steps towards the infield, and then get a good throw down to Mauer at first.
Good hitter here for Quincy. Give him time. Chris Tremy, the second baseman, takes a look at strike 1, and Niemeyer starts to roll.
This is what we like to see, and this is pretty much the control that you like to see and you expect from Todd. But once he gets into that groove a little bit, you can see it right now. He's got the confidence out there, and he's just going to start challenging him at the plate.
Nothing in 2 is Niemeyer. Looks for his 15th strikeout of the 1993 season. First to a K and then 2-3 on the outside.
Pretty good pitch right there by Todd, and a good idea. Head on the count 0-2. You can play with that strike zone a little bit, trying to go outside and make an attempt to get one out of the strike zone.
Count 2 balls, 2 strikes here. Chris Tremy. Ryan Lamp on deck. Hinge Olsmalski again rounding out the Quincy starting 9. 2-2 pitch from Niemeyer on the outside. Got him. That is strikeout number 15 of the year for Niemeyer. We have played 1.5 at USI, where it's USI baseball on a Sunday night on TV 52.
Our personal insurance specialists offer you the reliable, dependable services that have built our agency into one of the area's largest. Now, that's a reputation. James Will Insurance. It takes special people with special dedication to create the right insurance protection for you, and then do it right the first time. James Will Insurance.
In the lineup, Jason Kroc out of Central. Second season here for USI, and Gary Redmond comes in hitting .214.
Not Not a bad year for Mr. Kronk in his freshman season, where he batted .309.
Okay, come on.
And again, the standout from Central. This one solid up the middle. Center fielder coming on, Boyd Butler. Leadoff single and bobbled in the field by Butler. Down its second moves Jason Kronk.
Good speed right there, and also good intelligent base running, being able to see an opportunity, maybe some loose footing out there in the field. We've had a lot of rain around here, and I think that it's probably going to be wet conditions out there. A little bit of a struggle getting the ball back in, Boyd Butler, and Kronk never hesitating, rounding first, heading all the way to second.
Getting an error down to second in scoring position. The first for Southern Indiana, Kronk, and our first look tonight at Tom Knott.
Tom's going to be, I think, a vital part to USI this year, and you look at what he is going to bring to this program. Another one of the local talents out of Central. Execution right there with a guy on second base. You want to try to get it to the right side and advance into third.
Good job by Knott. 90 feet away. Moves Jason Kronk as USI looks to strike first. Like the basketball team in 1992-93. Last season, USI very tough to beat at home.
And I think that they're going to be able to do that again this year. With the home opener, that's going to help a lot when you can get that first one of the season and then really take it on after that.
Score the last 4-3. Was that my error earlier, calling the second baseman the shortstop? Opening day for us as well, Doug.
It's going to take a little while.
Nice pitch by Verdes. So like Niemeyer, an inning to get going. It tries to come back here on Mark Vince, the younger brother of Matt.
Mark on the season, a little slow start. 188 the batting average. Really, I think, trying to slowly get into the starting lineup. The left fielder today, he's got 3 hits and 16 at-bats. Is also going to be used as part of the pitching staff as well for Gary Redmond this year.
Well, the newcomers in 93 here to Southern Indiana baseball. And he count 0-2. On deck, Steve Grease, and then Corey Lamb rounds out the starting 9. And we talked about it earlier, how good it is to see local talent performing for Gary Redmond. If you can build a successful program around local talent, that just helps your entire ball club, Doug, and the community as well, seeing local talent playing for the local college.
It's going to be good for the university. It's going to be good for the baseball program, an opportunity where you can advance from the high school areas all the way up to Division II baseball. Big base hit right there with a pulled-in infield.
Nice hit ball, bring in Jason Kronk, RBI for Mark Vince, and the Eagles lead by a score of 1-0.
And I think that's what we're going to see this year from USI baseball. Not a lot of power on the ball club. Dennis Humphrey, remember, one of the big guys as far as the long ball is concerned for Southern Indiana. But they're going to have to manufacture a lot of runs this year, and this is the way you do it. You get a guy on base, take advantage with that extra base hit. Then you're going to move him around into scoring position, and you're going to need key base hits like Mark right there.
You take a look at the numbers, Doug, and on paper, this is an explosive ball club offensively.
They really have, I think, the option of being able to do a lot, and a lot has to do, obviously, with men getting on base. And I think you look at the top of the lineup with Vince, Strausser, and Maurer. That's where it's all going to start, but you're also going to need that bottom half of the lineup. Mark Vince, Steve Grease, now the DH up now, and also Corey Lamb.
Keep an eye on Mark Vince, out by 3 steps over at first. Eagles lead 1-0, bottom half of the second inning season premiere of USI baseball. Hit and run on, and it continues for USI. Hinge in left field, holding up at second where it's first and second for USI.
Good base hit right there by Steve, and you could see that Verdes kind of worried a little bit about Mark Vince over at first base. It looked like he hesitated a little bit, started to run, and then held up to see the results. Line drive right down the third base line by Steve. Left fielder playing close enough to the line that he was not going to have really a chance to get a play at third base, so Mark holds at second.
Here come the familiar faces all over again. Our first look tonight at Corey Lamb, and on TV 52 in a USI uniform.
Corey at 286 on the early season and has really had a good start, I think, for USI. Being able to step into the lineup, is making a 7th appearance on the season. He's got 4 hits and 14 at bats.
And that one hurt. Got part of himself on that. They'll go back. Root foul ball, strike 1. The painful ones at times. And the count 0-1 to a shooken up Corey Lamb. We have seen the 9 for USI here in the bottom half of the second inning. Eagles lead 1-0 so far on 4 hits. And did not take long for the offense again here at the Athletic Complex. First and second for Southern Indiana. And one away here. Bottom half of the second. And on the outside. Again, good location by Berdius, but just missing.
Well, just like we saw Niemeyer working right around the plate, and that really is a sign of a good pitcher, where you got the confidence as a coach knowing that you're going to put the guy out there for 5 or 6 innings. He's going to be good with his location right around the plate. He just needs to work a little bit in or a little bit out.
Again, right there on the inside by Gerald Berdius. Count 2 balls and a strike to Corey Lamb. Talked about the importance of doing well early while you go on a spring trip. Come back about 500 and started up here at home for action breaks in the Great Lakes Valley. Count 3-1 to Corey Lamb. And again, USI at first and second. Mark Vincent, your pitcher, down at second. And over at first, Steve Grease. 3-1 pitch from Berdius. Well on the outside. The bases are loaded for Southern Indiana.
And this is what you like to see, especially with the top of the lineup coming back. Matt Vincent, leadoff hitter, second at bat on the day. Led off the bottom of the first inning with a single, then was caught stealing.
Second walk given up by Berdius. Lamb at first, Grease at second, Vince at third. And brother Matt, as Doug said, an early 1-for-1. The Eagles trying to add to a 1-0 lead. Kronk in on the single by Mark Vince. First time the battery talks, Berdius and Bruninga.
I think right now they're just going to talk about location of the pitch. Obviously, you want to keep something in the strike zone that's going to produce a ground ball so where you can get a double play and get out of the inning. But with Matt, every part of that plate, as long as you keep it around the plate, he's going to be able to put it somewhere. In his mind right now, his main concern is lifting the ball, getting it out of the infield.
I don't see any bullpen action so far for head coach Pat Atwell and his Quincy Hawks.
And early in the season, I don't think a coach really is going to go to his bullpen as quickly as he would late in the season. He wants to give everybody as much of an opportunity to get out there, work their arms into condition for the up-and-coming season, and also see how they handle different situations. This is one of the toughest ones you're going to find. Bases loaded, only 1 out. Top of the lineup due up for Southern Indiana.
Bruninga keeps it in front of him. Runners hold. Bases loaded here, the bottom half of the second inning. USI on this day trying to go to an overall 6-5. Both have played 9 coming into a Sunday night, and out comes Pat Atwell.
Just try to settle him down right now and also try to figure out exactly what his approach to the lineup is right now. You can see very vocal with pitches, I think right there talking about a breaking pitch, saying, okay, now this is what you need to do. You got to get control of that. Get it up a little bit higher with your release. If you're going to bring it down, you want to drop it down the strike zone.
And you talked about the benefit of playing a lot of games early to work out the bugs. Pitchers as well, maybe pitchers especially.
Well, I think pitchers and also the catchers trying to get the sense of the authority out there, because they basically are the coach on the field. Whenever they see a problem, they're going to take it out to the mound, try to work it out so that the coach does not have to come out of the dugout.
Count is 1-0 here to Matt Vince. Keeps the hitting streak going. Came in today 9. Hitting once in each at least of the first 9 games. It is now at 10 games. And a chopper down here to third. You go home in Bruninga and you get 1. And there's 2 away. And down at third, leaning the wrong way. Overrunning at third base. And just like that, they are out of it. Big defensive play for the Quincy Hawks.
Really paying attention to what was going on. The only play they really had was at the plate, so that was going to be the only out. But then a little bit careless on the bases right there. Steve Grease rounding third. 1
comes in. They'll leave a couple. We've played 2 at USI on a Sunday night. And you're watching the season premiere of USI Baseball only on TV 52.
E.M. Sable & Associates, insurance and investment products for both business and personal planning. They say only two things in life are inevitable, death and taxes. But when it comes to the well-being of yourself or loved ones, planning is a must. Without it, death and taxes can become a nightmare. Since 1974, those at E.M. Sable have taken care in assisting clients with personal and business planning and employee benefits. They've been successful because they help eliminate your fear of the inevitable. E.M. Sable & Associates, life is your best investment.
You're gonna be better than me, Christopher. I can see it in your eyes. No one wasting your life on something you hate. Not for my son. You're going to college. I can see it in your eyes.
I can see it in your eyes. You are going to do something important.
Christopher, time for work.
We've always had the dreams. Now we have the means. Please, support the United Negro College Fund.
With Doug Emig, I'm Aaron Smith on a Sunday night. You're watching USI Baseball here on TV 52, and we've played to 1-0 Southern Indiana.
And a pretty good inning with the exception of the way that the outcome ended for the second and third out for that last inning for USI. But that's what you want, especially for your pitcher, to get out there to get some support. And you look at Todd's first two innings, 28 pitches to the first two innings, picked up his first two strikeouts back in the second.
7, 8, and 9 for Quincy, Lamp, Hingle, and Osmolsky. We'll have seen the Quincy 9. Nice comeback there by Niemeyer. Count 1-1 here to Lamp.
Ryan, the DH, getting an opportunity to see really limited action this year. Only his third at-bat of the season, the DH today. A junior out of Breeze, Illinois, mainly used as a third baseman.
1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 Ks back in that second. Again for Niemeyer. Again, his season total now up to 15. He has walked 9 now on the season with the 2 walks previous. As Corey Lamb goes to Mauer's score at 4-3, 1 away.
Sometimes those can be pretty dangerous. You can see Lamp, as soon as he got the ball, not a lot of contact made as far as the release coming through with the bat crossing the plate. With that wet surface out there, a lot of times you see an infielder come in, stumble a little bit, but Corey got a good jump on that ball, made an easy play to first.
First look tonight at Craig Hingle. He is the left fielder for Quincy. Here in the top half of the third inning. And a nice pitch again by Niemeyer.
And this is a control that we talked about earlier. Struggled a little bit in the first inning, 2 walks, but that really didn't come to haunt him at all. Settled down a little bit in the second inning, 2 strikeouts out of the 3 hitters he faced. Now he's getting back into his motion.
Right through, Jason Kroc score at E5. And the first E at home for Mr. Kroc. Come over, and it's tricky out there also with all the rain. Not making excuses for Jason. We have our first error against Southern Indiana on the day.
And anytime you get a ball, especially like that with a left-handed hitter coming up to the plate, going to the opposite field, you're going to get a funny bounce as far as the ball because the spin's going to be weird. And you can see Jason try to get over in front of the ball, hit some of that loose dirt. And we talked before, the footing is going to be a little bit dangerous out there. You're not going to be able to get a good solid feel of the ball with the ball on the ground.
Osmolsky, Eric Osmolsky. We have seen the 9 now for Quincy. Top half of the third inning. If you're just joining us late on this Sunday night, Eagles lead by a score of 1-0. The Baseball Aces debut on TV 52 on Tuesday night with IU.
They got a basketball team playing somewhere, don't they?
Are they still in it? 1 high and gone is Hingle. So the air doesn't hurt after all. Yeah, there's 2 away.
Perfect throw right there, and you can see the strength that USI is going to have with Brown behind the plate. Kevin spent a lot of time last year going back and forth between the outfield and working behind the plate, and you can see a good strong release right there. Nothing better, especially for a pitcher, to see him throw down there and the second baseman or shortstop's just waiting for the runner to come in with the ball.
Upstairs and out of play. Count 0-2 here to Eric Osmolsky. 2 away, top half of the third. Eagles up 1-0. And again, we'll continue here at home on Wednesday afternoon. Still waiting the first in the conference. 1 getting by Kevin Brown. And we talked about the gap to fill behind the plate in a big order to fill for Kevin Brown. How about Quincy? How about Niemeyer? How about Hingle? How about Osmolsky? 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 How Strouser over at shortstop, Doug, where Tom Drake has made a home for the past 4 years.
And you expect stuff like that to happen. Big pitch right there, breaking pitch down and away. Picks up a third strikeout of the game.
As number 16 on the season, we've played 2 1/2 here at USI, with the Eagles lead by a score of 1-0 on a Sunday night. This is USI Baseball on TV 52.
Cashing a check was hard enough when all you needed was 2 pieces of ID. But now...
I see you have a blue card, yellow card, green card, and gold card, Mr. Gray. But here you need a green, gross, or red card. So follow the magenta line to the blue counter and have Mrs. White green light your red card.
all you really need is the bonus check card from Old National Bank. It's accepted virtually all over town because it's not a check cashing card. It's the card that works like a check, only better. From Old National, your bank for life.
The blue is you, Mr. Gray.
It's got singers,
Dancers,
comedians,
bands,
and beautiful spokesmodels.
There's nothing else like it on television.
What is it?
Star Search.
America's one and only music and variety show.
The Star Search stage holds the greatest talent competition in the world.
Where the stars of tomorrow entertain you and your family today.
Watch to see if your favorites become Star Search champions.
Star Search. There's nothing else like it on television.
I'm Darren Smith with Doug Emig, back out at the University of Southern Indiana. Eagles lead by a score of 1-0 as we move to the bottom half of the 3rd inning.
2, 3, 4 due up for the Eagles, Strouser, Maurer, and Brown. And you look at the success so far up to this point. 1 run, 4 base hits, and really, I think what we're going to see all season long. Very good production all the way through 1 through 9.
And we talked about as we were going away there in the top half of the 3rd. The job for Strouser this year, picking up where Tom Drake left off.
Well, obviously, an awfully big pair of shoes to fill, and you look at the job that Barry has done last year as a freshman, 376, so he really stepped in and provided a lot of input offensively for Gary. He was honorable mention all GLVC last year as an infielder. Hit 400 pretty much the majority of the season, so he knows how to play this game, and I don't know that you expect him to really step in and do everything that a Tom Drake would. It's going to take him a while, but obviously with the success last year, that's going to have a lot to do with his input this year.
Yeah, he's already proven himself at the bat, Strouser.
Hey, need Joe now.
He hit 400 for most of the season last year, Doug.
And when you get into the GLVC conference and face the pitching that they do, to be able to have a stat like that pretty much all the way through the season tells you one thing right away. This guy can hit. He knows how to play the game.
1-1 here to Strouser. Maurer on deck. One taking to center field. Boyd Butler coming on. 1 hop in front of Butler. And again, a leadoff single for USI.
And so far, the leadoff men is in the order have been doing their job. Matt Vince 1 for 2 now. Strouser 1 for 1. He's been on base twice. Brings up the first baseman, Brian Maurer.
Maurer, the 2-sport athlete out of Mater Dei in his senior year.
I believe so.
And a big season for brother Rob about to take place.
Rob is in a situation where I think Jeff Schultz found himself a few years when he was in the Kansas City Royals organization. He's got the tools, he's got the hitting ability to be a major leaguer. He's just got some pretty good guys in front of him, and I think Texas is probably going to start him out of AAA again. He's had an injury with his knee, so he's been seeing limited action in spring training to this point.
He's been doing good with Oklahoma City, the 89ers, the past couple of seasons. Perhaps the most important season of his baseball career will be this one. 2-step lead over at first base for Strouser. Count 1-1 here to Brian Maurer. In the top half of the 3rd inning on the inside there. Count 2-1.
And I think this is really an important season for Brian because each year it seems like he stepped up his leadership and his offensive output. Saw a lot of action as a freshman, hit 260. Then his sophomore season, 277, all the way up to 358 last year as a junior. And even though he is getting off to a Brian Maurer slow start, look for him to really come on, especially I think when the warm weather starts to hit. You got to realize these guys have not faced a lot of live pitching other than the trip that they went down south.
2 balls and a strike to Maurer, and again check him back over at first, closer at first, and a nice move to first base is Burdess.
Wants to make sure that the Eagles have as much of an opportunity to stay as close to first base as they can. We talked about the speed on this ball club. Now 24 of 28 in the stolen base department. Barry 2 for 2 on the season.
2 balls and a strike to Maurer. And got him. And again, not the best of jumps by Strouser. And he is gone.
We talk about the wet footing. That's going to have a lot to do with the running game today, too. As you can see in the infield area, there's a lot of wet spots, and that's going to have an effect on both teams as far as getting good footing underneath and getting a quick start.
Strouser caught first time this year, now 2 for 3 in early 1993. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Brian Maurer. Kevin Brown batting clean up on deck. With 2 away here in the bottom of the 3rd on the inside, and the count is full again by Burdess. And he's throwing a lot of pitches here early, Doug. Burdess is.
And it's dangerous, especially with a hitter like Maurer at the plate. He is so conditioned and really fundamentally sound, knowing where the strike zone is. He's not going to go after a pitch that's in the dirt.
You'll score at 1-3. We have played 3 here at the University of Southern Indiana, where it's the season premiere of USI Baseball.
That's only 2 outs.
I'm sorry, Doug.
What, 2 weeks and we'll be
we'll have it down.
Back to like we were ending off last season. It's tough going from
basketball to baseball. We still play with 3 outs here at baseball.
And you know now that the second baseman is on the right side of the infield and the shortstop's on the left.
And one taken to left field. That is Hengel on 2 hops, and it continues here. I would have shortchanged USI another hit.
Kevin Brown with that base hit, the catcher, now 1 for 2 on the day, brings up the third baseman, Jason Kroc. 1 for 1, scored the only Eagles run back in the second inning after he reached on a single and took second base on an error by the center fielder.
That's the biggest error I make all season. We've got about 50 games combined, college, high school, Little League, and American Legion in the next 5 or 6 months. I'll be all right. There is 2 away here in the bottom half of the 3rd. Fireworks continue at the plate. Rolling back, 375. May wave him across and will. It continues for Southern Indiana. No play at the plate. 2-0. The Eagles and a nice hit ball. And Kroc is at second again.
Jason now 2 for 2. Picks up another RBI. First today, but plates a second USI run. And you can see the aggressive base running of Gary Redmond. That ball not all the way to the fence, and really good conversion by Hengel and Butler, the left and center fielders, getting to that ball. It was going to take a perfect relay throw to cut Kevin Brown running from first base down at the plate, and it appeared that the third baseman coming in, Darren Baltz, cut the ball off. And I don't know if Berninga, the catcher, said cut it or not. It looked like it was going to be a close play. But Brown got a good jump on the ball, and he was coming all the way.
USI leads by a score of 2-0. Now 7 hits for the Eagles. Here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Tom Knott. We're in the old Drake 1-7. And a 5-step lead down at second base for Kroc. On the ground and right past Heath Talkmeyer. This will score Kroc with his speed. It's an RBI single for Tom Knott, and the Eagles lead by a score of 3-0.
And this is the offense that you kind of knew they were going to have. Gary Redmond knew coming in that he was going to be strong in the defense. He knew that he had the hitters. The pitching was going to be the question, I think, for the 93 season. And you look at the job that they've done so far to go down south and have the success that they did. Coming in like that, anytime you can get an ERA under 5, especially going down south, you've done pretty well. And we look at Niemeyer's numbers coming in, ERA of under 3 in 3 appearances to this point. So they have done the job pretty much all the way around. I think the offense has been the disappointment for this point of the season.
Former teammates at Central helping each other out, not hitting in Kroc. And again, this is Mark Vince with 2 away here in the bottom of 3.
And I think if this is kind of an example of what we're to expect this year from USI and their baseball, it's going to be another very exciting season.
Trying to return to the National Regional. And the 1-0 pitch down low, count 2-0 from Burdess. And now action going on in the Quincy bullpen. And this has been a tough one, a tough inning for Burdess.
Well, they're playing 2 7-inning games today, and as a coach, we talked before, you want to leave a pitcher out, especially early in the season, as long as you can. But a team like USI, you can't afford them to get too many runs ahead. You're going to have to start looking in to your bullpen, see who's been the hottest, see who needs the most work.
2 balls and a strike to Mark Vince in a 3-step lead over at first. And again, one taken upstairs, and Tony's almost back to the warning track, and that, my friends, is 3 outs, but more damage done here for Southern Indiana. 2 more come in. Our score 3-0 after 3. On a Sunday night, we'll be all right. You're watching USI Baseball on TV 52.
Kenny Kent Northside is mad. Mad about March, that is, during their Mazda March Madness sale. Discover the beauty within Mazda. Mazda is built with peace of mind as standard equipment and offers you the ride of a luxury car and the handling of a sports sedan. During this sale, you will save on every Mazda in stock, like this new Protege for only $212 a month. With the best basic warranty in the business, Mazda is the buy of the year. Kenny Kent Northside, Diamond and Heidelbach, where the Corvettes sit high in the sky.
Excuse me, do you wear your safety belt?
Why, no, I don't wear my safety belt.
Thank you.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
With Doug Emig, I'm Darren Smith. We move to the top half of the 4th inning, and USI leads by a score of 3-0.
The offense doing a good job. Niemeyer starting to settle down a little bit. 3 strikeouts the last 2 innings. This is the part of the order, though, that you really need to get tough with. Butler, Baltz, Tagmeyer, 1, 2, 3 due up here for Quincy in the 4th.
And a brief struggle by Niemeyer early, only early, has settled down for outstanding 2nd and 3rd innings, Doug.
We talked in the pregame his control, and that is going to be one of the strong points of Todd Niemeyer throughout his college career and maybe even into the professional career if he continues to do what he does and really gives the team an opportunity to get a good look at him. But he is a finesse type of pitcher. He's not going to really blow you away with a fastball that's going to hit 80 or 90 miles an hour. He's more of a finesse pitcher, and when you're a finesse pitcher, obviously location is a big key.
Niemeyer's seen the most work, 12 1/3 innings pitched for USI this early in the season. Also leads on strikeouts early. Has walked a couple, 9 on the season. But again, you take a look at his numbers, and this early, Doug, Niemeyer is impressive.
And I think you're going to look at Todd really to be one of the premier pitchers on this ball club this year. You look at the success that he's had the last couple seasons, and to be able to be an ace of the staff, it really takes a person that knows what he's doing. Just a sophomore, but you look at the experience he got last year as a freshman. You also look at one of his teammates, another Evansville product, Mike Fetcher out of Wright. He saw a lot of action last year as well.
1-1 here from Niemeyer on the outside. Second look tonight at Boyd Butler. Here in the top half of the 4th inning, Eagles leading by a score of 3-0. Return to action right out here at USI on Wednesday afternoon. The 2-1. And one leaves the outfield. Hasn't been many. And there's one away. It's Mark Vincent left. One away top half of the 4th inning.
What the fielders consider to be pretty much a can of corn. Looked like it might be a little bit of trouble, but you could see the outfield, knowing the pitching of Niemeyer, kind of shaded towards the opposite field. And Mark just 2 or 3 steps, got that one easy.
First work for the USI outfield. More first leave the infield. There's one away here in the top half of the 4th, and it's Darren Baltz, the 3rd baseman. And one down low for ball 1.
Baltz, one of the first 2 that received walks back in the 1st inning against Todd. Eventually forced out on an inning double play by Tagmeyer, the next one up.
2-0 here, the count to Baltz. USI trying to sweep Quincy again this year, as they did last year, 5-0, 6-2. In one of those games, again, the pitcher was Jerry Burdess. Niemeyer falling behind early here to Baltz. And the 3-0, one that had to be there is not. 4 straight balls by Niemeyer.
Didn't miss by much, and that's almost one of those pitches where 3-0 if you're going to get a strike anywhere around the plate usually, and that one a little bit up in the strike zone. You could see Kevin went out, talked to him just a little bit, probably something to do with concentration. Okay, you've got a 3-run lead out there, you're pitching well, don't forget what you're doing. Mechanical-wise, he might have done something wrong, or as a catcher, Kevin Brown might have seen something. Also to get out there and say, okay, don't forget about Baltz on first base. These guys like to run.
And Baltz has some speed, maybe the speediest of the Quincy Hawks coming in. Count 0-1 comeback here by Niemeyer. Talking to head coach Pat Atwell earlier. One up the middle, and one that's going to not sneak in there. Nice save there by Strouser. And almost had him at first base, Doug.
From the way it started out, I thought that was going to be a base hit right up the middle, but Barry showing the quickness and a lot of range right there. Did a good job just to get to the ball. Stopped his momentum a little bit, tried to get the force play back to Corey covering at second base. No play there, but he still tried to get the force out at first, and just a little late there.
There goes your no-hitter walking a single now, back-to-back by Quincy, and they start to mount.
And you see Gary Redmond out right now talking to Todd. Probably just what I said before with Kevin going out there. Concentration is a big factor in this game, and when you get a 2 or 3 run cushion out there, a lot of times a pitcher can relax a little bit. But if you do that, you still have to remember you can't make a mistake or two, or you're going to allow this club back in the ball game.
The Eagles up 3-0 here in the top of the 4th, but the first threat mounted by the Quincy Hawks. We take our second look at Burke Berninga.
The catcher for Quincy today 0 for 1, the first strikeout victim for Todd Niemeyer back in the second.
First and second for the Hawks. And just one away here in the 4th. Nice pitch again by Niemeyer, finding the corners now.
And I guarantee you, 9 times out of 10, every time you see a coach go out and talk to his pitcher, that first pitch that he's going to throw after that conference is going to be a strike. And a lot of times a coach goes out there just to put a little fire under a guy. If he's starting to release a little bit too high with his location, and he went 4 straight balls to Baltz. So maybe it was a concentration factor, and if you go out there and not really jump on him a lot, but say, okay, let's pull your neck here, let's get back in the ball game and think.
Count drops 1 ball, 1 strike. Brown signaling to the infield. First and second here for the Hawks. In the 1-1 pitch, taken out of play, count 1-2. Here is the meat of your order for the Quincy Hawks. Berninger and Tony's no slouch either. Tony's on deck. Ball and 2 strikes to Berninger.
Big pitch right here. He needs to get something around the plate, but don't give him something fat.
Almost got him over there at first base. And maybe a drop ball. I did not quite see it.
It was a drop ball. You could see Maurer usually playing behind the runner with a first and second situation to make sure that you at least get a ground ball out towards that right side of the infield. But snuck in behind Tagmeyer, the runner at first base, and a good pickoff move there by Niemeyer. It looked like the tag was there, but then Bryant, as he was bringing the glove down, the ball popped out.
1-2 pitch, and one that gets away from Kevin Brown. They'll move second and third, and 2 in scoring position now for Quincy. And a count moves 2-2.
And you could see with that pitch, a breaking pitch, it was away out of the strike zone. He was trying to get Berninga to go out of the strike zone a little bit, but just released it a little bit too high. And I think right now you see Brown going out again, talking about the situation now. Okay, 2-2 the count. We've got 1 out. Let's concentrate. Try to get a strikeout here where we get 2-out situation, and a base hit's not going to hurt us.
Again, Tony's is on deck. So it doesn't get any easier here in the top half of the 4th inning. Eagles up 3-0. But again, here comes Quincy. The 2-2 pitch from Niemeyer. And this one again taken upstairs. Shallower, and one that drops in there. The familiar Texas leaguer play at third. Or it's first and third for Quincy, and there goes the shutout. It's 3-1.
Not a lot that you can do defensively. You saw second baseman Corey Lamb and also the right fielder Tom Knott both coming in, but as Darren described, it was a looping fly ball that neither one, even with a good jump, probably could get to. It's just a matter of how the base runners are going to react. Both were holding to see if the ball was going to be caught or not. Baltz comes in from third, and the runner at second, Tagmeyer, moves over to third.
So a walk and 2 singles in bullpen action for Gary Redmond.
51. First and third situation now, 1 out. You can see probably going to be a hit and run situation here, or maybe just a straight steal after the first pitch or two. Pitch up and in right there. Bartoni's the right fielder, 0 for 1 today, the hitter.
Probably a part of the batting order, like I talked about, you don't want to mess around with. If you're looking at just numbers this early in the season, here are the producers for the Hawks. And a count 0-2 by Niemeyer.
Great pitch right there by Todd. Down and away in the strike zone. And a lot of times it takes concentration at the plate as well. You have to really be able to hone in on exactly where a pitch is going to be in the strike zone. That time, Tony's just a little bit out of control.
0-2 pitch, and one right down here and through the legs of Corey Lamb. We've got a 3-2 ball game, and it's first and second for the Quincy Hawks.
Just what we talked about before, concentration. You could see that pitch a little bit up in the strike zone. An 0-2 pitch, maybe tried to go a little bit inside a little bit and didn't get the break on the ball. And contact was made right there, and just a little bad hop in between the legs of Corey.
Score at E4, Berninga down at second. Tony's at first, and here is Chris Tremme. Poke it down at second. That was close.
Again, really impressed with a home opener right now from the arm of Kevin Brown. He is not afraid at all to throw behind a runner anytime. We saw him earlier a couple times with the stolen bases. Perfect pegs down to second, and that time getting a little bit far off second base with possible bunt and run situation. Berninga almost got picked off.
Nothing in 1 here to Tremme. And one on the ground. Maybe try to get 2 this time. There's 1, and there is not 2. With Niemeyer over covering at first, there's now 2 away. Runner holds at third, so you still got a 3-2 ball game.
We talk about the defense, and probably one of the most solid positions that Gary Redmond has coming into this season is at first base with Brian Maurer. He is a senior this year, has always been one of the strongest defensive players on the ball club.
First and third for Quincy. Like I said, all of a sudden, 3-2 ball game. Ryan Lamp, the DH. On your side, 2 away in the top of the 4th. It has not been easy, or it's been easier. It began with a walk with Baltz, and then back-to-back singles in E4. Corey Lamb down at second base. A result 3-2 with 2 away here in the top half of the 4th inning. 1-0 pitch becomes 1-1.
And this is always the out that a pitcher looks for, especially when you've struggled like this into the 4th inning. 2 runs, 2 base hits by the Quincy Hawks, but you want to get that third out so you can get back into the dugout, kind of recollect your thoughts a little bit, also let your team come up and try to get some more runs.
Ball and a strike from Niemeyer. And again on the inside, and Niemeyer's not pitching bad.
Another breaking pitch, and that one breaking just a little bit inside towards the plate. You could see the lamp started to go, but that's really concentration on his part, having the knowledge to know that if you go so far, it's going to be a strike. He pulled back.
2-1 pitch. Upstairs again. Third to leave the infield. Matt Vince, we head to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Damage done, 2 left, 2 score. After 3 1/2, our score 3-2. We're back with more USI baseball right here on WAZ TV 52.
Stop into Rabin Tire now and save 50% on the second Goodyear tire when you buy 1 tire at the regular price. That's half off Goodyear all-season premium radials for cars and light trucks. Also at Rabin Tire, save 50% on the second Goodyear Eagle ST Performance radial when you buy 1 at the regular price. This half-price sale won't last long. Save now at all Rabin Tire locations.
Tri-State Ride on Rabin Tire.
I'm Darren Smith with Doug Emig. Back out at the University of Southern Indiana, where it's a college baseball Sunday night in the season premiere of USI Baseball. Bottom half of the fourth, 3-2 Southern Indiana.
And not the best of conditions for a baseball home opener for USI, but obviously better than the ones that they've tried to get underway.
We could have played this last Sunday.
3 or 4 weeks, and Southern Indiana weather is just crazy at this point in the season, but a pretty good turnout as far as the fans are concerned today.
3-2 bottom of the fourth.
Hello, how are you?
And USI 1 in the second, 2 in the third.
8-9-1 due up here for the Eagles. Steve Grease, Corey Lamb, and back to the top, and Matt Vince.
So the Eagles looking to go above 500 on this day. You're watching tonight game 1 of the scheduled doubleheader. And it's ball 1 here to Steve Grease.
Steve 1 for 1 today, had a single back in the second inning. Got a little bit over-anxious base running wise and got caught coming around third, but there's another single to left field, now 2 for 2 today.
And the fourth time in 4 tries, the leadoff single by USI.
And this is the part of the lineup that you really want to have a lot of production from. 2 for 2 now for Steve. Corey Lamb, the second baseman, due up next. He reached base with a walk back in the second inning.
So USI again attacks early at the top of the inning.
And moving from basketball to baseball season, we see Stu Sheets in the lineup today the first time. A pinch runner now for Steve Grease.
Sheets, who came in primarily baseball, gave basketball a try, Doug, and what a season for Stu.
I tell you what, he had an exceptional season, much like the remainder of the USI Eagles team did, and with the addition of Bruce Pearl and his new coaching staff in town, I think the excitement is back for USI basketball, falling in with the success of baseball.
Sheets out by 5 over at first. And as you've watched during basketball season, he does have the speed.
12 stolen bases last year, 16 in his career, being a junior as far as his baseball eligibility is concerned.
1-0 here to Corey Lamb. Eagles trying to work on a 3-2 lead. Nobody out here. Bottom of 4. We're scheduled to go 7.
When we talk about confidence with the man at the plate, we know the bat control of Corey Lamb, being a standout for Steve Johnston at rights, really handles the bat well. So we might see a hit and run situation here, or maybe just a straight sacrifice trying to get Stu into scoring position.
1-0 here to Corey Lamb. Sheets again bluffs. And a foul ball. Had to wait and see. Ruling on that one. I thought maybe for a moment fair, but it's ruled foul.
Depends on the position of the ball, not the position of the player. And it looked like that one came off the front edge of the plate, bounced almost straight back. Bert Berninga, the catcher for Quincy, quick off with the mask and make sure that he gets the ball. And he's not waiting to see if it's fair or foul. He's just going to catch it. Went ahead and threw through.
1 ball, 1 strike here to Corey Lamb. Top of the Eagles at 4-5. They began the season with 3 straight victories over Mount Olive. And then in Augusta, the Payne College Lions, 11-2, 16-0. Before that, it was 5 straight losses before picking up the win in West Georgia. There's one away.
Excellent bunt right there. It appeared the first time Corey trying to bunt for a base hit, but also with the sacrifice in mind. That time scoring around real early, making sure he got the bunt down. Excellent execution right there. Now you've got Stu standing at second.
Third look this evening at Matt Vince.
Matt 1 for 2, reached on a single back in the first inning and also reached on a fielder's choice back in the second.
Sheets out by 5, down over at second base. Eagles trying to add to a 3-2 lead here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. And Vince, as I said earlier, extended his hitting streak to 10 games and will add another. Over the head of Smolsky. He'll pick up an RBI, and the Eagles will lead by a score of 4-2. Nice job again by Matt Vince.
Great piece of hitting right there, trying to get the ball into the outfield to give Stu a chance to score. And for Stu, almost in a situation where he has to wait to make sure that the shortstop, Smolsky, does not make that play. A line drive like that, 2 more steps, and it looked like he might have caught it, so he had to wait a minute. But that ball was hit hard enough and got far enough into the outfield that Stu scored with no problem.
And here again where USI fans are going to like it. 1-2, Vince followed by Strausser.
I think the USI fans are going to like the entire lineup from what I've seen early in the season, especially here today. Matt Vince now 2 for 3. Strausser, the shortstop, 1 for 1. He's been on base twice, walked back in the first, and reached on a single to center back in the third.
You get 2, Vince and Strausser. Just take those 2. Their numbers from last year. If they can perform again, it's going to be another good season for Southern Indiana baseball, particularly offensively.
And that's the strong point of the lineup that you want. You want guys on base so that when the meat of the order comes up, you've got Maurer, Brown, and Kroc falling 3, 4, and 5. You want the guys on base so that if they get those extra base hits, you get some runs.
Dual bullpen action for head coach Pat Atwell. Again, Quincy came in at 5 and 4.
I don't think anybody can stop. It's just too heavy.
And you talk about early in the season, Doug. But how long is too long to keep your pitcher in?
Well, I think right now it's still going to be one more opportunity. A lot of base hits, 4 runs on 10 base hits so far through the first 3+ innings for USI. And you want to see how much your pitcher has got as far as his conditioning is concerned. He's been hit pretty good the last 3 innings. 3 hits in the second inning, 4 hits in the third inning. 2 so far here in the second, and it does not get any easier when you look at Strausser, Maurer, and Brown, possibly the next 3 hitters.
Right now, USI out hitting the Hawks 10-2, where it counts. It's 4-2 Southern Indiana. 1 fouled back. 0-1 here the count to Strausser. Brian Maurer on deck for USI. And we've got 1 away here in the bottom half of the 4th, and we're scheduled to go 7 tonight. Matt Vince out by 4 over at first, and they'll check him back. Not a bad move, as I said earlier, to first base by Jerry Burdess.
Well, I think he knows the speed of Matt Vince, and he's capable of stealing a base just about any time he gets a good jump. And obviously, his 3rd time on, he's going to be able to read that move a little bit better of Burdess.
Yeah, 0-1 here to Strausser.
It strikes a lot better, doesn't it?
And time called.
I can't get what I could do
Again, bullpen action for the Hawks. Strausser's worst inning an inning ago. And started to struggle later in the second. He was saved by a double play. 1 drops in front of Bruninga.
That means a lot to a pitcher, also to a coaching staff, to know that you've got a catcher behind the plate that can handle a pitch like that in the dirt. Those are always tough, especially a breaking pitch that instead of going the 60 feet 6 inches is going to hit about 58 feet, a little in front of the plate. A catcher basically his job is to knock the ball down. You don't worry about trying to catch it. You can see he dropped to his knees. You've got the protective equipment in front of you. Just block it and keep the ball in front of you.
Give me an eye on Matt Vince. 0 for 1 today, 7 for 9 on the season. Stolen bases. And again, check him back. It's a ball and a strike to Strausser. And Vince again out by 4.
You can see Burdess worrying a little bit more right now with Vince at first base. Good opportunity here for a hit and run. You've got good speed on the bases, also a good bat at the plate.
And 1 down low. Location has not been there, particularly in the past 2 innings. Now for Jerry Burdess.
When you look about the condition, he's got 2 walks on the day, both of those coming early in the game. 1 in the first, 1 in the second. His problem has been the control as far as getting too much of the ball over the plate. USI has been hitting pretty good.
And one on the inside, letter high. Count 3-1 now. Strausser. And again, Brian Maurer on deck with 1 gone here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. And again, if you're just joining us late on this Sunday night, this is it, the season premiere of USI baseball. And the first of 12 NCAA games for you this spring. And high school kicks into gear in a couple of weeks. Again, check him back at first. And the count remains 3-1 to Strausser.
A lot of times you see a pitcher concerning or concentrating a little too much on the runner on the bases, and he forgets about what he's there to do, is to get the hitter at the plate, and I think that's one of the reasons you've seen the count now go to 3-1.
Closest call at first. We await again the 3-1 to Strouser. Again, the Eagles out hitting Quincy 10-2. And up by a score of 4-2 in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Here goes the runner. Good jump there by Vince, trying for his first stolen base of the day. Will have it. It holds up there at second base. That is stolen base number 8 on the season for Matt Vince.
8 for 10, actually 8 for 11 now. Got picked off back in the first inning. But again, you see another good, strong throw from the catcher, Bruninga. Not able to hold on the shortstop, Omalski.
That's good. I like the USI.
3-2 here to Strouser. But again, just one away here. In the bottom of 4. And Vince out by 4 down at second. And Burdess again concerned of what's behind him. Count is full. 3-2 by Burdess, and we'll do it again.
And this is a big out for the Quincy Hawks, because you can't really allow another run with a base hit. You've got one out. You want to make sure that you get at least a second out. For the pitcher, you obviously want to keep the ball in the infield so the run does not score. You can see he looks back at Vince down at second base, but he really can't concern himself too much with Matt.
3-2 pitch, got him on the outside. First backwards K of the afternoon. And the first strikeout for Jerry Burdess.
Brings up the number 3 hitter, Brian Maurer. 0 for 2 today, flew out to center field back in the first and bounced out Burdess to Tagmeyer back in the third.
Brown steps on deck. 2 gone, bottom of 4. USI trying to add to a 4-2 lead. Picking up 1 in the second, 2 in the third, 1 so far here in the bottom of the 4th.
Hey, here we go.
And 1 on the inside, ball 1 from Burdess.
Starting Brian off with a breaking pitch that time, trying to get him to go a little bit out of the strike zone. Pitch on the inside part of the plate, and we talked about the confidence of a player at the plate, and you're not going to find one that's got better fundamentals of knowing where the strike zone is and where the ball comes in than Brian.
1-0 pitch from Burdess. On the ground, foul here. And the count moves 1-1. Talked to a couple here local, actually more than a couple, a rather large handful. Maurer, one of a couple from Mater Dei.
The breakdown, you've got 7 Evansville high school players. Along the area, you've got 1 from Hobstad, 1 from Jasper, 2 from Pike Central up at Winslow, and also 1 from Newburgh.
Andy Julian with USI. Count 1-2 to Brian Maurer. And again, trying to get Matt Vince home to give USI a 5-2 lead. Eagles enter the afternoon 4-5. And you're watching the home opener on this evening. Burdess trying to get out of it. Slower start. And trying to loop one in there. Over from third. Steps Darren Balls, and the Eagles go down that way. 1 comes home. And after 4 complete, our score 4-2 on a Sunday night. You're watching USI Baseball on TV 52.
At Klein's Hair Fashions, our professional hairstyling staff receives constant updating and training. Recently, Pam Montgomery of the Matrix Design Team personally trained the Klein staff for their new Matrix Essentials Fall and Winter Primal Cuts. So if beauty is what you're looking for, call Klein's Hair Fashions at 477-5551 to schedule your own professionally designed hairstyle. At Klein's, we want you to look marvelous.
When I was about 13, I had the worst paper route in the history of paper routes.
We worked out this great system. We'd start in the garage folding all those papers.
And just talk. That was my favorite part.
Remember, Dad?
You know, I think you more papers than he folded.
Oh, we were quite the team, weren't we?
Well, I still think you were driving a little too fast, Mom.
When you put your family first, you're building relationships that last. From the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
I'm Darren Smith with Doug Emig. Back out at the University of Southern Indiana. We played 4. It's 4-2 USI.
2 up here for the Quincy Hawks in the top of the 5th. Hengel, Osmowski, and back to the top of the order in Butler.
And that part of the order that I've talked about along the way also, which begins with actually Boyd Butler, who is 0 for 1 today with a walk, but has the power like Baltz and Talkmeyer, who follow.
Craig Hengel, the left fielder, 0 for 1, reached on an error. Third baseman Jason Kroc back in the 3rd inning. But then was cut down trying to steal second by a good strong throw, the second of the day by Kevin Brown.
0-1 here from Niemeyer. Down to Corey Lamb. 4-3, 1 away.
An important inning right now for Todd if he can get with relative ease. And you look back at the 2nd and 3rd inning, probably the best 2 innings of the day. He picked up 2 strikeouts, only threw 13 pitches back in the 2nd inning, 1 strikeout, and 11 pitches back in the 3rd. His big problem an inning ago, 24 pitches, he allowed a walk, 2 runs, and 2 Quincy base hits.
Eric Osmowski takes a look at ball 1. We've gone through 9 twice now for Quincy. 2 in for the Hawks. It's 4-2 USI. 1 gone here, top of the 5th. And a count 2-0 by Niemeyer.
Hey, here we go now, Nemo. Come right at him now. What do you say, kid?
2-0 pitch.
Atta boy.
Nice comeback by Niemeyer.
Location, again, the strong point for Todd and his pitches. Once he gets behind in the count, 2-0, 3-0, you can always count on a good comeback pitch. Now he's fallen behind 3-1, so he's going to have to really dig down deep now and get that concentration level back.
Top of the order on deck, Boyd Butler, followed by Darren Baltz. 3-1 pitch. Good comeback again. Niemeyer works the count full. It's 3-2. You don't want to allow Quincy to climb back in.
Hey, right back
when things have been going your way.
Same place, same pitch.
Throughout a portion of the 4th inning. And Niemeyer's had an excellent opening day for the home opener afternoon.
His control has been there for the most part. 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. And you look at the way he's had command of most of his pitches. As I said, really the only trouble that he had was back in the 4th. Big strikeout right there.
He got him. Strikeout number 16 on the year. Or make it 17 for Todd Niemeyer.
Hey, that a way to come back there. 1.
2 out in the top of the order, Boyd Butler. 0 for 1 today. He reached on a walk, was picked off back in the 1st, and then flew out to right fielder Tommy Knott back in the 4th.
2 gone here. Top of the 5th. And Niemeyer just misses with ball 1.
And you can see he likes to vary his location and the number of pitches that he throws. That time coming in with a breaking pitch to Butler, a little bit high in the strike zone.
To the outfield, Matt Vince moving over. Tom Knott between Vince and Knott. That is a 2-out single by Boyd Butler, who was due, Doug.
Came in hitting 286, 9 RBIs on the season, and really yet to get started as far as his offense. He walked back in the 1st, but was picked off. Now you start to that trouble part again. Darren Baltz, the next hitter. Not really much on offense early in the season, but he's been on base twice today, both via the walk.
And coming off a great season, Baltz. 1 upstairs again, Matt Vince backing up, warning track, 380 away, and they'll go down that way here in the top half of the 5th inning. Little scare, Eagles hold on by 2 as we head to the bottom half of the 5th inning on a Sunday night. This is USI Baseball on TV 52.
This is the Computer Mail Order Store. Our many years of computer experience in the Evansville area has shown us that each person's computer needs are different. Our staff will carefully assess your particular computer needs and suggest the appropriate system and software for you. We are locally owned and offer support and service after the sale. We have a large selection of high-quality computers and most accessories in stock at the most competitive prices around. Computer Mail Order Stores. Stop in and see us. We're on Washington near Bakey.
Expressway Dodge is celebrating its 1-year anniversary in a big way. Huge discounts and the birthday wheel is back. Every deal means a spin on the wheel and added value to your purchase with great prizes on every spin, plus the chance to win a brand new Shadow. And wow, what deals. A 93 Dynasty 12990, A 93 Shadow 9575. It's an anniversary celebration, so make your deal and take a spin on the original birthday wheel only at Expressway Dodge.
The new 960 lives. Expressway Dodge.
Same way now, line drive.
With Doug Emick, I'm Darren Smith as we move to the bottom half of the 5th inning. 4, 5, and 6 for Southern Indiana.
It's baseball season, isn't it? Sun's starting to come out. We're ready.
That's not bad for a night game.
Brown, Croc, not due up here for USI in the bottom half of the 5th. Kevin 1 for 2 today. Picked up a single and scored back in the 3rd inning.
Eagles up by a score of 4-2, out hitting Quincy 10-3, and trying to do as they did a season ago, sweep the Hawks.
And I think to this point you talked to Gary Redmond, and this has been the part of the season that he's really been concerned with. Coming in, he figured that the offense would do their thing after they got started. They struggled a little bit down south, and again, I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that they didn't really face a lot of live pitching early in the season. They came in with a batting average overall at 276, but you can see in the first 4 innings so far, they are really hitting the ball well.
Count 1-1 here.
Hey, okay, Brownie, here you go now. Your line drive.
To Kevin Brown. Talked about the Eagles started out 3-0, and they almost beat, at that time, #1 South Carolina Aiken. They lost 4-2, 3-2, and talk about heartbreaking losses on the road, Doug. One upstairs, over at first. Talkmeyer, 1 away.
And I think that a lot of that, especially being the fact that they're playing the #1 ranked team, they got a lot of good press because of the results last year. I think preseason ranked number 16 got all the way to #9 after the beginning of their spring trip. But a lot of times that can take a lot out of a team when you get into a close situation like that, and to win or lose by 1 or 2 runs, it's going to have an effect on a team. And I think Gary took that as an advantage this year, saying, okay, we realize what we're capable of doing at this point. We played 2 close games to this point. The pitching is done pretty good. Now we need to get our sticks to hitting again.
0-1 here to Jason Croc. 2 for 2 tonight. And trying to go 3 for 3. Over-moving Boyd Butler. That rolls back 385. On his way to second again. A 3rd time for Jason Croc. He is 3 for 3.
Scored 2 runs up to this point. Has also picked up an RBI. Now picks up the 2nd double of the season, and you can see that he knows how to run the bases. That time a pretty good play by the center fielder Butler coming over, diving, almost coming up with a catch. Also good backup by Tony as the right fielder, but Croc all the way to second base, never hesitated around first.
2 who played for Paul Grace. Here again is Tom Knott.
Tom 1 for 2 today. Reached on a single, picked up an RBI. His last at bat back in the 3rd.
USI trying to add to a 4-2 lead. Bottom of 5, 1 away. And again, Croc down at second. Ball 1 here to Tom Knott. Mark Vince on deck, and it'll be Grease and Lamb to go through a 3rd time for USI.
And I think this is really what Gary wants to see from the lineup all season long. A lot of production from the middle of the lineup. You look at Croc now, 3 for 3. Knott 1 for 2 today. Mark Vince, the hitter on deck, 1 for 2.
Nice grab by Darren Bolts. Over at 3rd in foul territory. There's 2 away.
Good play right there by the 3rd baseman, Bolts. And a lot of times, as we saw earlier, with a left-handed hitter at the plate, that ball is going to come off a little bit funny with the spin going to the left side of the infield. Good diving play right there, and really not a chance at all for any opportunity for Croc to go to 3rd.
So getting our first look tonight at the other Vince, and Mark Vince in left field tonight.
Mark 1 for 2, had an RBI single back in the 2nd, flew out to the right fielder back in the 3rd. And I think with an early start, kind of slow for Mark. 188 coming in, 3 hits and 16 at bats. But again, once you see more of the live pitching and they get back into the warm weather conditions, I think most of the hitters are going to really start to pick up as far as their average.
Count 0-1 here to Mark Vince. Again, Grease on deck, Lamb to round it down a 3rd time for USI. Croc out by 4 down at 2nd.
Got a good feel.
And the Eagles leading 4-2 here in the bottom half of the 5th inning.
Attaboy.
Again, the Eagles out hitting Quincy now 11-3.
Got a good
Hawks picking up.
You're going to hammer it.
Hits in their first runs actually in the 4th. And a couple back in the top of the inning. Well, on the outside, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike from Jerry Burdess may be pitching his best right now in this particular game.
Well, I think you can compare him and Todd's game to this point. They've both been in control pretty much locations as far as their pitches are concerned.
See them seams, kid.
1 ball, 1 strike. Again, away on the outside. And the count moves 2-1.
And you see the last 2 pitches, both breaking pitches up in the strike zone, trying to get that outside part of the plate.
You're going to make him pay. You're going to make him pay when he comes to you.
2 balls and a strike.
Good.
And again, trying to bring Kroc home. He's been home twice already. And again, stepping out is Mark Finn.
Breeze, you got him worried.
And I think that's probably one of the parts that you look at Burdess up to this point that might be faulty in his approach to the game. It seems like he's concentrating a little bit too much on the runners. The situation here, you've got 2 outs. You don't need to really worry about the guy at second.
Outside, count is 3-1. Yes. So right now, Vince in the driver's seat and a good hitter in Grease on deck.
And this is a part of the game. As an offensive player, you have to make that pitcher come in with a good pitch. You're at the advantage now, 3-1. You look for a specific part in the strike zone. If he brings it there, you look to drive it.
You're ready for some win.
Kroc out by 4. And got him on the inside, 3-2. It's Stu Sheets on deck, who came in to run for Steve Grease. So double check that. Stu Sheets looking to make his first plate appearance. And gone down at second, just like that.
Faulty base running again. Jason Kroc not aware of what the count is, and they got him off of second base.
It remains 4-2. We've played 5 strange endings. Inning number 5. We're back out to USI with more USI baseball on a Sunday night on TV 52.
All day long, the grass is going to keep on growing and growing and growing. But I don't care, because I got myself a new Snapper Ninja Recycling Mulcher Mower for Muth's Outdoor Power Equipment over on Congress behind Eastland Mall. Muth's has new Snapper mowers, and get this, no payments till October 1993. Gotta go now, and just let that grass keep on growing and growing and growing.
The cases have always been real.
Did you know he was in Saudi Arabia when you were fooling around with his wife?
The accusations have often been shocking.
He called me a prostitute.
I wouldn't believe a word either one of those people say.
But the stakes have never been this high.
What the heck are you doing? Oh, my God, what have you done?
I'm going to punch the guy's lights out.
It's a wonder she didn't kill him.
I don't want this to be on TV.
The People's Court.
Hey, who turned up the heat?
Top half of the 6th inning with Doug Emig. I'm Darren Smith. Season premiere of USI Baseball on this Sunday night. Eagles lead 4-2 after 5.
Due up here for the Quincy Hawks, 3-4-5, Tagmeyer, Berninga, and Tonys. And as I said, last inning, an even more important inning now for Todd Niemeyer. It seems like he's had that problem with the 4th inning, really got back in control last inning. Only 12 pitches, also picked up another strikeout, giving him 4 on the afternoon.
Niemeyer became USI's #1 starting pitcher late in 1992. And was able to pick up all GLVC and all North Central region teams in his freshman year, Doug. What a local catch for Gary Redmond.
I think everybody kind of knew what type of pitcher he was going to be with the success that he had for Carl Vogel at Mater Dei. And to come in as a freshman and have a season like that's tremendous.
2 pitches, 1 away. Brian Maurer down there at first base.
He just crushed that.
Brings up the catcher, Bert Berninga, 1 for 2 today. Strikeout victim back in the 2nd inning and picked up an RBI single back in the 4th.
Bartoni's on deck, 1 away. Top half of the 6th inning. And the Eagles looking to go above 500 again on this Sunday night. And again, they're back in action on Wednesday. Our next televised game of college baseball comes your way on Tuesday night at 10:30 with the Aces and IU. And 1 past the shortstop and Strouser. And it's a 1-out single for Quincy.
Again, a ball that apparently as soon as it's hit off the bat looks like it's going to be a base hit, but because of the range of Barry down at shortstop, again, diving, almost coming up with a play right there. Berninga gets on base the second time, brings up the right fielder, Bart Tonys. 0 for 2 today. Reached last inning, or back in the 4th inning on an error.
And again, here is the Meteor batting order for Quincy. Or if you go by numbers here early, the part that shined. 0-1 to Tonys. Tremmy on deck. Berninga out by 3.5 over at first, and the count goes 0-2 here to Tonys.
And usually the case with a catcher on base, you don't have to worry a whole lot about stolen bases. So you see the first baseman, Brian Maurer, playing back. Todd not even really worried about him at first.
On the inside, 1-2 the count.
Hey, here we go. Let's go now,
4 strikeouts so far for Niemeyer on the evening. And the season total up to 17. Do it again, the count 1-2. Actually off the hand of Kevin Brown.
That got a piece of the throwing hand. Catchers always have it rough behind the plate because they catch a lot of foul balls, and good job here by Huey, the home plate umpire, Greg Bales, on the bases today, giving him a little extra time to make sure that he gets a little feeling back in that throwing hand.
Ball and 2 strikes. Niemeyer looking for strikeout number 18 of the 1993 season. Right back to Niemeyer. Got by Niemeyer. Maybe pick up 2 here. Get him down at second and down over at first for the second double play of the afternoon for Southern Indiana. We have played 5 1/2. Eagles lead by 2. It's 4-2 after 5 1/2. We are watching USI Baseball on TV 52.
Follow the leader.
You know, Citizens has been a part of this community for over 100 years, and that makes a difference in how we do business.
Follow the leader.
This is our home. We're working for friends and neighbors, and like them, we've got a real stake in the success of Evansville and the tri-state area. We're proud to be leading the way.
Citizens, the one who leads the way. Follow the leader.
He's a rebel with a cause.
Look, Mr. Raines, you signed up with me to bring in felons for cash, not personal vendettas.
A modern-day bounty hunter.
All you need to know is it's taken all my self-control to keep from dumping you right now.
Driven by his past, charged with a murder he didn't commit.
Reno Raines.
Wanted for murder. You're being set up, man.
Lorenzo Lamas is the renegade. Justice is his only reward.
I'm Darren Smith with Doug Emig back on the campus of the University of Southern Indiana as we move to the bottom half of the 6th inning. It's 4-2 USI.
7, 8, 9 due up here for the Eagles in the bottom half. Gerald Burtis getting ready to pitch his 6th inning. Vince, Stu Sheets, and Corey Lamb, 7, 8, 9.
Remind you, this broadcast authorized and produced solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the University of Southern Indiana in WAZ TV 52 is prohibited. Our producers tonight, Todd Suter, Mickey Buzzingham, Cindy Billings, and Kim Musgrave. Back at Master Control on the season premiere of USI Baseball. Looking for a home opening win, by the way, also.
And might take this opportunity to thank the physical plant department out here for last-minute ditch effort to get our plexiglass installed so that we can shoot behind the plate.
Way to go, Miles Mann.
Kept him away from his Sunday morning cartoons this morning, you know.
So we owe him
look
one.
it over good. Be patient, Vinny. We need you on base.
1-0 here to
Get on base.
Mark Vince.
We need a run.
The Eagles trying to add to a 4-2 lead. Let her high count 2-0.
Mark at the plate last inning when I guess Jason Kroc kind of lost track of what the count was. Stranded off a little bit from second base, and they got him out. Mark 1 for 2 today, had an RBI single back in the 2nd.
Good comeback there again by Verdess. And he has not been out of control, actually, all evening, Doug.
Well, he's really had control of his pitches. Walks have not been a problem. He had 1 back in the 1st inning, 1 again back in the 2nd. But other than that, pretty much around the plate. And I think the location of his pitches, as far as where they've been along the plate location, has been his problem because USI has been able to take advantage of some bad pitches.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
Come on, Vinny, you get tough and you get mean now.
This game an hour and a half old. This will be the last call for Quincy. Come the top of the 7th, we're scheduled to go 7. On the inside to count out 3-2 here to Mark Vince. And Stu Sheets awaits his first at bat here at home in the 1993 season. He is on deck and is batting for Steve Grease, the DH. 3-2 pitch. And a chopper. Tremmy over from second. Not in time, and actually past Tremmy into center field. And for a 6th time tonight, the Eagles lead off with a single.
And a coach likes to see that. First opportunity to get on base every time a hitter is due up to the plate. Stu Sheets, the hitter, came in to pinch run for the starting DH Steve Grease back in the 4th.
You check the numbers. That is 5 for 6 as Kevin Brown fouled out to begin our 5th. And was going to be Stu Sheets, is not.
Trent Watts, a freshman out of Pendleton, Indiana. First action here for him today. On the season, pretty good to this point. He's had 8 at-bats, picked up 6 base hits, so what you consider an early season high of 750 in the batting average.
Out of Pendleton Heights High School and redshirted last year. He was a standout athlete in high school, Doug. 7 letters participating in baseball, cross country, basketball, and football. Just an outstanding athlete in Trent Watts, making his debut here at home on this evening. Well, on the inside in ball 1. This could be a good one, Doug.
Very productive to this point. I mentioned the 6 hits and 8 at-bats. He's scored 4 runs, has had 5 RBIs. An extra base hit being a double, and also 2 for 2 in the stolen base department.
Watts also a pretty darn good pitcher, looking back over his high school career. And doing it with a bat here early in the season. Count is 1-0 to Watts, and a check back here over at first base. We're in the bottom half of the 6th inning. The Eagles leading the Quincy Hawks by a score of 4-2. Right now hitting Quincy 12-4. And the 1-0 pitch. Well, at least move the runner up. Will do so. Down goes Watts, but down to second goes Mark Vince. And with 1 away, the Eagles have another in scoring position.
And I talked earlier about fundamental baseball and executing what you need to do. And we saw earlier Corey Lamb with a sacrifice bunt. That time, Trent Watts again getting it to the right side of the infield, making the first baseman come in and field it.
So it's Corey Lamb again. The Eagles have batted through now 4 times. Vince down at second and trying to add to a 4-2 lead. Scheduled for 7. This is bottom of 6. And Vince is out by 5 down at second. Got him on the outside corner, strike 1.
Good breaking pitch there by Burdess. Corey yet to officially come to the plate. 0 for 0. He walked back in the 2nd inning, and as I mentioned, the sacrifice bunt back in the 4th.
0-1 pitch to Lamb. Breaks inside, close, and a count 1-1.
And it seems like Burdess has gone to a lot of breaking pitches, especially the last couple innings. You look at the struggles he had. Allowed 3 base hits and a run back in the 2nd inning. 2 runs and 4 hits back in the 3rd inning, and then 1 run on 2 hits in the 4th. Settled down a little bit an inning ago back in the 5th, and after a base hit now, it looks like he's going to try to shut down the Eagles one more time.
1 ball and 1 strike. Lamb, who also adds speed on the bases, with 19 stolen bases last year for Steve Johnston and the Wrights Panthers. Vin's out by 5.5, and on the inside, we've got a 2-1 count.
And again, the location pretty good by Burdess. That one just a little bit high and inside. But more times than not, most of his pitchers are going to be somewhere around that 17-inch plate.
2 balls and a strike to Corey Lamb. And Matt Vince, top of the order on deck. Brother Mark out by 5.5 down at second. Here's your 2-1. And upstairs again into shallow center field. Boyd Butler giving way to Bart Tonys.
Here we go again, Vinny.
And there's 2 away.
Back to the top of the order, and Matt Vince, the center fielder for USI, 2 for 3 today.
Have your way with it.
Singled got caught stealing back in the first, reached on a fielder's choice in the second, and singled and picked up a stolen base with an RBI single back in the fourth.
Vince recognized as one of the bright young athletes here in Division II baseball. Nationally recognized, Doug.
Really had an outstanding season last year for USI. And you mentioned earlier, junior college transfer. Named preseason All-American this year by Collegiate Baseball. And you can see Quincy, knowing what he's capable of doing, they're not going to waste any opportunities here with maybe a bad pitch, so they're going to intentionally walk him.
That'll bring up Barry Strausser, and as I said, you're going to like this 1-2 here on the outset with Vince and Strausser, two that return with outstanding numbers offensively from a season ago. So they'll put on Matt Vince, and it'll be first and second for USI. Vince and Vince on the bags.
Mentioned the success of Barry Strausser, the man on deck, getting ready to come to the plate last year as a freshman. 376.
Hey, Strauss, you're getting
41 hits and 109 at-bats. 19 RBIs, and another one that has the knowledge of where the plate is. A contact man, only 6 strikeouts last year and 109 at-bats.
I watched Strausser hit a season ago, Doug, and you look at his frame, not all that big. This kid has some power.
Not what you consider a big production guy when you look at the size, as Darren just talked about, and really one of the players that uses his hitting ability to read the pitcher and to know where his pitchers are going to be.
The one you want.
Good confidence at the plate, a contact man, as I mentioned before, so anytime that you see runners in scoring position, he's going to go that extra effort and try to get somewhere, ball in the hole, to try to get a run in.
1-0 the count here to Strausser. And on the inside, let her high, the count 2-0. Brian Maurer again on deck. First and second for USI here in the bottom of 6, scheduled to go 7th.
Hey, you gotta wait for something to dream about now, Four.
Waiting the 2-0 pitch, and again the brothers Vince on the pads, but that'll take care of it here. Longer route over to first base, and we move to the top half of the 7th inning, where it's last call for the Quincy Hawks on a Sunday night. You're watching USI baseball right here on WAZ TV 52.
In Evansville, go where the in-crowd goes. For lunch, you'll always find them at Mattingly's 23. But they don't crowd. There's always plenty of room in Mattingly's spacious restaurant and lounge. You'll like the service, love the atmosphere, and discover food that is absolutely fantastic. There's daily luncheon specials, and you can choose from 5 different dining areas, all with a unique decor. For a great lunch, and plenty of it, join the Lunch Bunch at Mattingly's 23 Restaurant and Lounge, 1700 Morgan Center Drive in Evansville.
Next time on the Wild West, they came in search of a dream and found an adventure beyond their imagination. The frontier settlers. How did they survive their encounters with Native Americans, nature, and loneliness? Meet the ordinary people who turned a wilderness into a new nation.
We felt that instead of the Wild West, we had found God's own country.
The monumental television event continues, The Wild West.
Last call for the Quincy Hawks, top half of the 7th inning with Doug Emig. I'm Darren Smith. Eagles trying to hold on at 4-2 and bring their record to 500, actually trying to go up and over 500 on this Sunday night.
Todd Niemeyer trying to get the first complete game of the staff this year. 6-7-8 due up here for Quincy in the top half of the 7th. Trammy, Lamp, and Hingle.
Quickly ahead 0-2. Todd Niemeyer.
And I would say, with the exception of maybe the 4th inning when he allowed 2 runs on 2 base hits, also issued a walk, has been in control pretty much most of the afternoon. 4 strikeouts, 3 walks. But you look at his location and numbers of pitches, 15 in the 1st inning, 13 in the 2nd, 11 in the 3rd. 4th inning, he went a little long, 24. But then 12 pitches in the 5th inning and only 9 last inning.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Tremmy. You're in the top half of the 7th inning. And 1 just missing by Niemeyer. Now the count full.
Mike Fetcher up again in the bullpen for USI, just in case Todd runs into a little bit of problem here in the top of the 7th.
Jason Kruk doesn't even have to move. There's 1 away.
Ryan Lampe, the DH, due up next. 0 for 2 today. Bounced out to Corey Lamb at 2nd back in the 3rd and flew out to Matt Vincent center back in the 4th.
Hingle Osmolski to go through a 3rd time here for Quincy, but 1 away and 2 to go here for USI.
And looks like a pinch hitter, Eric Orney, a junior out of Ashland, Illinois, here for the Quincy Hawks.
Hingle right now on the on-deck circle. And again, Niemeyer missing the count, 1-0. One again missing down low for a 2-0 count.
And this is sometimes tough situations for pitchers, especially early in the season, going for the first complete game of the year. You get your adrenaline pumping just a little bit too much, and you maybe start overthrowing a little bit, and that's a big part of the game where your concentration factor comes into play. Should he walk Arnie here, you're probably going to see Brown, the catcher, head out, just try to get his mind back in the ball game.
That is only the 4th walk given up by Niemeyer. Walked the first 2 in Butler and Baltz to begin. Baltz again in the 4th, and right here in Orney.
1 on, 1 out. Craig Hingle, the left fielder, due up. 0 for 2 today. Reached on an error back in the 3rd and bounced out to Lamb at 2nd back in the 5th.
So Tremmy gone, Orney on at 1st. And Niemeyer now trying to mount a comeback.
And this is the part of the lineup that you want to get him out on. You don't want to allow an opportunity with runners in scoring position to get back to the top of the order.
On the outside. That is 6 straight balls now by Niemeyer. And Fetcher continues to warm up in the bullpen for Southern Indiana. Battery talks Brown and Niemeyer.
Just a couple pitches late, but I figured sooner or later Brown was going to go out and try to settle him down a little bit. This is also going to give Mike a little bit of time in the bullpen to get a couple extra throws should a case arise where you get 1st and 2nd and only 1 out.
Quincy has hit into 2 double plays this evening, if you're thinking double play to end it.
Now going to buy a little bit more time, head coach Gary Redmond out to the mound.
And this is really the only part of the evening where Niemeyer has struggled, Doug.
Throwing out that 4th inning, and again, this is going to be a conversation right now where Gary's just trying to get him pumped back up a little bit. Concentration is such a big part, especially for a pitcher, knowing the situations. You've got a 2-run lead, top of the 7th inning, and Gary has seen enough. He's going to go to the bullpen.
So we have our first pitching change. So much for the complete game. If you're hoping for that for Niemeyer, we will take our first look here in 1993 at Wright's high school product, Mike Fetcher.
Mike on the season making his 4th appearance. 2 of those been in the starting role. Comes in with a record of 0-1, 3.12 ERA. Not a lot of work in the 3 games up to this point. 8 2/3 innings of work. It's allowed 10 base hits, 4 runs, 3 of those earned. 6 strikeouts and 3 walks.
If I do not say hello to his fiancée-to-be, Angie Bossy, he won't talk to me anymore. So he made me do that before the game goes down. If I get in, please mention that. Mike, I just mentioned it.
It might be an honor, though, if he didn't have to talk to you anymore. Mike, we know Mike, and Mike is one of the nicest guys around. Obviously, with Wright's being successful his senior year, really got to know him with our Legion coverage the last couple of seasons, and is as much of a competitor on the field as he is off, but he's one of the guys that likes to kid around a lot. And Mike had a very good freshman season last year for Gary Redmond.
There has not been, I don't think, a local athlete who's appeared more on TV 52 than Mike Fetcher. Here's your leader in minutes played.
I can think of maybe one. Kind of his frickin' frack buddy, Hank Wheeler.
We get to see on Tuesday night over at Bosse Field. Our next college baseball game comes Tuesday night at 10:30. It is IU and the Aces. Here at USI leading 4-2 in the top half of the 7th inning. And the Eagles doing a good job out hitting Quincy today at 12-4. And like I said, for a second straight season, trying to sweep the Quincy Hawks as they did last year, 5-0, 6-2 early in the season.
And I think Mike really came on with his pitching performance his junior year at Wrights under Steve Johnston. Led the SIAC in strikeouts his senior season. Last season, 46 and a third innings of work. He allowed 51 base hits, overall record of 4-3 and a 4.27 ERA.
Look at this. They got Fetcher down to 208 now, standing 6-3.
That was always a concern, if you remember, when Legion season was around. McLaurue was always worried about Mike and his weight. And I'm sure that he's put a lot of time and a lot of effort in strengthening his arm, and should be a really valuable pitcher this year, as well as the next two.
Nice pitch by Fetch on the outside. And the count works 3-1. Fetcher also a member of the All-TV 52 team in 1991, Doug. And lost him. Lost him down low. It's first and second. So that puts the tying run at first. And the go-ahead here coming to the plate.
Eric Osmolsky, the scheduled hitter, due up, and it looks like he is going to hit here. The shortstop 0 for 2 today. A strikeout victim both times, back in the third, again in the fifth.
So the Eagles' 4-2 lead in jeopardy. Mike Fetcher trying to slam the door on the Quincy Hawks here on our season premiere of USI and college baseball on this Sunday night, where we were used to seeing the Bruce Pearl show for the past 18 weeks. And a great season for USI basketball, and spill into the spring, and I have a feeling more success here. If you're thinking national, regional, that perhaps is this team again in Doug in 93.
I think because of the success that they had last year and the numbers that they've got coming back this year, with the addition to a lot of newcomers, and we've seen Corey Lamb, a freshman at second base today, also Mark Vince in left field. They've got the personnel. It's just a matter of if everybody can come together as a team.
Good comeback by Fetch. Count 0-2 here to Osmolsky, who's gone down the K twice already. There's one away here in the top half of the 7th inning. Eagles trying to work the record to 500 in an opening day victory. First and second, though, for Quincy. 0-2 pitch down low, 1-2 the count.
You can see Mike is really throwing well. He's got a good fastball, uses that mainly as his main pitch. He's also got a good breaking pitch, but right now he's concerned with getting this hitter at the plate down, getting 2 outs, and then facing the top of the order.
Not missing by much. Count 2-2 now by Fetcher. Bordy down at second, Hengel at first. And this is your go-ahead run at the plate for the Quincy Hawks. So we've got a good one here on opening day.
No, you won't get it up there.
2-2 pitch. We'll do it again.
Nope. Probably won't even.
Here's the trouble on deck in Boyd Butler.
Butler's been on base twice today, so a typical leadoff hitter has done his job to this point. For USI, you want him to come up to the plate with 2 out.
2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 away, top of the 7th. And we'll do it again.
Expect a lot of ground balls when Mike's on the mound because of his location of pitches, a lot of them down the strike zone. And right now, Osmolsky just trying to make contact at the plate. He does not want to strike out. For USI, obviously looking for a ground ball, you're going to look for a double play to get out of this inning and get your first home win of the season.
2-2 pitch. Again, fighting him off here is Osmolsky. As Fetcher here looks for strikeout number 7 in 1993. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A base hit's going to bring him within 1, Quincy. And the 2-2 pitch. Slow roller down to Strouser. Trying to get 2 for the game. It is in time. Fetcher comes in, slams the door quickly. Little help from the infield. Double play ends the game. And USI is a 4-2 home opening victory.
When I first left the bat, I didn't think it was going to be hit hard enough to get a double play. The force play was going to be obvious at second, but a good turn right there between Strouser and Lamb at second. And the good pivot and the strong throw over to Maurer for a double play to get out of the game. A big win, the first win here for the '93 season at home for USI.
Give the win to Niemeyer, the save to Mike Fetcher. Eagles 4-2 over Quincy. We're back with more USI baseball on a Sunday night after this time.
Naturally, ours go out of their way to give you the very best, more than a smile. Then there's because we respect our customers. And 4, because your business is important. One more thing, we understand you because we are you. We're your, here at, that's 5.
Alcohol can have a bad influence, especially on an unborn child. The Association for Retarded Citizens warns that drinking during pregnancy can cause birth defects and mental retardation, conditions which last a lifetime. You can't drink to your baby's health.
Opening victory for USI 4-2 over Quincy as USI tries to go above 500 on this day. Winning pitcher Todd Niemeyer with me. 10 and 11 games into the season. You guys happy the way things are progressing, Todd? Not a bad day on the hill for you.
Yeah, I was shaky the whole time. My arm's kind of tight. I just need to throw more. We had a lot of rainouts recently, and it's just kind of hard to get going. We were shaky out there as a team, but we should recoup. We beat a good Quincy team here, and we're going to play a lot better than we did that game to win the next one, though.
Taking a look at the team offensively, it looks like you guys are in for another successful season with the bats. That's early indications.
Yeah, we're hitting the ball well, and that's if you hit the ball well early in the season, that's a real good indicator because usually that's the last thing to come around. If we should get our base running going and come together as a team, we'll be okay.
And the battery changed a little bit. No longer is Blake Kruger behind there. You got a new catcher this year. How's he working out early with the team?
Kevin's guy, he's a real experienced catcher, and he's a great guy to throw to, big target, and he knows how to pitch these guys, so he's a great catcher.
Good one today, Todd. Go enjoy it. We'll talk to you again next week.
Thanks a lot.
That's Todd Niemeyer. I'm Darren Smith. We'll wrap up an evening of USI baseball after this.
It's March Madness at Kenny Kent Northside, and that means fantastic buys on all vans in stock. And what a way to travel. This Tierra Stealth is loaded with front and rear air, fiberglass boards, and more. You'll save thousands during this March Madness sale. Every van in stock has been discounted. Tierra, Timeless, Eclipse, Elk, and more. Take your vacation in style this year. Visit us today at Kenny Kent Northside during our March Madness sale, where the Corvette is high in the sky.
Check your pulse and prepare to go on scene. When the call is out, you're only a heartbeat away.
I've already checked this guy here. He's got a pulse. It's nice and strong.
When help is needed, you're the first on scene.
Can you speak to me now?
Real drama, real emotions, real heroes on scene.
Eagles take care of business first half of a doubleheader 4-2 over Quincy.
Big win for USI, and I think people in Evansville realize now it's baseball season. So let's get out here back the USI Eagles. Great pitching today from Todd Niemeyer. Mike Fetcher came in and did a good job from the bullpen. The offense was there. It's kind of question mark, I think, from Gary. Looking at the spring trip, batting average about 275 overall as a team, but they came out and hit today.
Talking to Niemeyer, I had an idea he wasn't all that happy with his performance, and that's discipline.
Well, I think he knows what he's capable of doing, and early in the season it's going to take maybe 3 or 4 or 5 appearances before you can really work everything in. Number of pitches you throw, how you approach each hitter at the plate, and I think a lot of times when you look at the way he struggled a little bit today, his location is always going to be there. It's just a matter of if he gets the strikes or not.
USI Eagles baseball is back. An opening day victory for Southern Indiana. College baseball continues Tuesday night at 10:30 when it's IU and the Aces. We talk to you on Tuesday. For now, for Doug Emig, I'm Darren Smith from USI. Good night.
When I was 17, I found out I had